Let's head out to Baton Rouge because there is a big recruiting weekend at LSU as Bama comes to town. Now, the foundation of LSU's class should be on campus for this one. A lot of big-time visitors, including number 1 overall Bryce Underwood. Steve, do you think there's any chance coming out of this weekend LSU, Joe Sloan, Brian Kelly can get Bryce Underwood to make some sort of statement that he is locked into LSU?
Sure. I mean, he's going to be back on campus. There's going to be a ton of excitement. He's going to be back around all his future teammates, the commits, get back around Coach Sloan and the staff. And I think things have remained relatively status quo with him and LSU. The communication is regular. The text with his future teammates is regular. He's going to have a lot of family with him on this official visit to LSU. It's going to be a big game, a night game in Death Valley inside Tiger Stadium. Many think that there is no atmosphere that can match that. It goes up another level when Alabama's in town for the night game. So it's going to be a special weekend and a special experience. So we'll see. But there's dialogue with the Underwood camp in Michigan that has continued, and they're certainly not going to go away until they're told to. And so Michigan trying to make a final push. But I like where LSU's still at with Bryce Underwood, been committed since January, and not much has changed.
Yeah, getting him on campus this weekend is going to be huge, especially with all the Michigan momentum, rumors swirling. Him being back in Baton Rouge this year is going to send a statement. Speaking of back in Baton Rouge, Jahkeem Stewart. Now, we think that Ohio State and Oregon are in a really good spot with him, but what do you make of this weekend's official visit for Jahkeem Stewart?
Well, I think it's just an opportunity to get back to a place he's comfortable. He knows that coaching staff well. Coach Baker, he sat and talked about his fit in his defense. Coach Davis, he's been coached by him in camp, loves the way he develops his players at the point of attack. This is a visit, I think, where LSU can remind Jahkeem Stewart, hey, these are the benefits of being a local blue chipper that comes to LSU. I expect him to meet with several high-profile Louisiana people, high-profile LSU people on this visit, and they'll be unified in just how big it could be for him and his brand to stay home and play his college football at LSU when you compare it to Oregon, Ohio State, and USC, the other finalists.
All right. Another big name on campus is DJ Pickett. Over the summer, he made his decision right here on the On3 Recruits channel to commit to LSU. Now, since then, Miami's picked up a little steam with him. Are there any other programs that are knocking on the door for DJ Pickett, or does LSU really just have to battle Miami down the stretch here?
Well, his dad, Damian, told me earlier this week that his son's locked in with LSU and been locked in since the summer. He's back on campus for a second game this fall, this weekend, with plans of getting back for the Oklahoma game over Thanksgiving weekend, which would be a few days before he signs and enrolls early with LSU. Now, certainly there's still communication with Miami. Maybe Miami can get him back for the Wake Forest game on the 24th, but this is setting up very nicely for LSU, and Pickett has not wavered in his commitment to the Tigers, same as Underwood.
Yeah, we saw DJ Pickett make 2 early visits to watch the Canes, and it seemed like, oh boy, he might see him 4 or 5 times this season, but it kind of slowed down since then, and LSU kind of got back in control of this recruitment. It feels
the SEC, I think the SEC is a big draw for LSU. I mean, obviously he's got the great relationship with Corey Raymond, but one thing his dad mentioned yesterday was just the competition level of the SEC, getting to play against great players week in and week out. That was another reason why he ultimately chose the Tigers. Now, I think you and I, we talked about it on a lot of whip-arounds leading up to his decision, and LSU was the team to beat for much of his process in the spring and summer. Oregon made it interesting, but he ended up committing to the school that I think led for much of his process. Now, Miami, if they had a great season, could they make some waves in this recruitment? Well, they're having a great season. Mario Cristobal hasn't relented in his push for DJ Pickett, but his dad said this has been done since the summer. He's preparing to enroll early, compete, and get in there and be on that SEC stage.
All right, let's talk about another flip target. This one has quietly kind of flown under the radar. Anquon Fegans, he made his decision right here on the On3 Recruits channel. He committed to Auburn, and since then he's made a couple trips to LSU. He's expected back this weekend. Steve, is this flip coming into focus for LSU? Hey, inside scoop fans and college football recruiting nuts, it's time to upgrade your audio game. You may have a pair of headphones you like, but the battery life, it's too short, or they just don't stay in your ears, or you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars every time you lose an earbud. Enter JLab. JLab is creating headphones, earbuds, and work accessories designed for everyday lifestyle. You guys know the best of the best are wearing them, from Travis Hunter to Ohio State's Will Howard to Quinshon Judkins. So for travel, here's what we recommend. The JBud Lux over-ear headphones. If you're working out, get the JLab JBuds Sport ANC4, offering a secure fit and a super long battery life for those tough workouts. Discover your perfect pair of headphones. Look for the JLab Blue Box at retailers everywhere or visit jlab.com.
Well, I talked to his dad this week, Anquon, and he made it clear that LSU is the biggest threat to Auburn. You still have Georgia, Alabama, UCF, some other schools that have been trying to make a late run, but he's committed to Auburn, loves the potential of that program moving forward, a top 10 class. He's a key part of it. They recruited a top 10 class last year. They have their quarterback, Deuce Knight. There's a lot of excitement around the future of Auburn football, but this will be his second game visit at LSU. He was at the Ole Miss game, another primetime victory over a top-rated opponent in Ole Miss. So he's seen Death Valley at its best, and his dad indicated, he's like, look, he's one of the people telling me there's not a place like LSU, particularly a night game. It's special. They love the people at LSU, and they're out taking these final visits. He was at Alabama to dot I's, cross T's, make sure Auburn was the right decision. And between Corey Raymond, the comfort level with the coaching staff, being on campus, he was also at the big recruiting splash party that LSU had, the Bayou Splash at the end of summer. They're in this one. We'll see if they can turn it on its heels with another great visit this weekend.
All right. There's also going to be some elite 2026 names on campus. Steve, who you tracking?
Well, I think you start with the number one player in the state, Lamar Brown, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, local kid that recently named Texas A&M his leader. Now, the on-3 RPM has not indicated that true, even though he said that. My pick is still on LSU, but you're obviously not sleeping on the Aggies for Lamar, but good to get him back. Blaine Bradford, number one safety in the country, another top 10 recruit in the on-3 rankings. His brother Jacob is part of that number 3 class in 2025. Love where LSU stands with Blaine Bradford. He loves the plan they have for him as a boundary safety. He's excited to get back on campus. Tristan Keys is a top 10 prospect in the new updated on-3 2026 player rankings. This is his second game visit at LSU of the fall. I believe he was at the win over UCLA earlier in the season. After that visit, he told me he could see himself making plays in LSU's offense. The way the Tigers have produced receivers recently speaks for itself. He always has a great time at LSU. Jabari Brady, Zach Weeks, those are some guys that LSU's obviously in good early position for. Bryson Martinez, another coveted offensive lineman from in-state. You like LSU's position with him early in the cycle. They're going to have a huge list of prospects on campus. It could grow by a blue chipper or two by kickoff in the 2025 class. Over 70 recruits expected, most of them guys that could really go to school anywhere they want, Josh.
All right, LSU fans, talk to Steve and I. Give us your score prediction. How many points is LSU going to win by on Saturday? Let us know. Comment section below. Also, coming out of the weekend, good news coming for Bryce Underwood and Jahkeem Stewart. What do you guys think? Let us know. Comment section below.